Hello, folks, and welcome into Newark Pilots TV. I'm Dan Cooter, and we're here at McDonough Park today as the Geneva Red Wings are set to face the Newark Pilots. As the Pilots just getting their second game of the year, as they have had a pair of rain delays, both against the Elmira Pioneers. Here in the early going of the year, it's Justin Graham who will get us started for the Pilots. As Grant Jebbia is on the mound, the right-hander for the Red Wings here today, as we are ready to go with first pitch from McDonough Park here in Geneva, New York. And we are underway as Graham looks at a ball high and away. And he has himself a 1-0 count. Grant looks at another one away. And he's got himself a 2-0 count here in the early going of this one. Graham looks at one inside now. And the count goes to 3-0 now as Jebbia is looking to find the strike zone. Justin Graham, we've seen him at the plate a couple of times as he looks at one on the outside corner, and it goes to 3-1 now from St. Mary's, Pennsylvania. Was named second team All-New York region. Plays his college ball at St. John Fisher. That one's inside, and he'll take his base, and so it's a leadoff walk for Jebbia. And the leadoff man is aboard for the Pilots. This is Justin Graham, and the one inning that we got to see, we saw a similar occurrence, but the other way around is the Pilots could not find the strike zone, and Elmira got 4 walks in the first frame as they were up 5-0 before the rain started coming down in Newark. So it's Xavier Warren who comes in, the shortstop. Wearing number 22 of the Pilots this year is Justin Graham is aboard on a leadoff walk over at first. Xavier Warren from Southfield, Michigan. He's finished up his freshman year at Central Michigan. Xavier Warren will call time and will reset here as we're just underway here at McDonough Park. Here in the top of the first is Justin Graham is over at first base as Warren looks at one inside from Jebbia. Warren standing on the left side of the plate at 6'0", 190. And we've seen him in the early going of this year. He has some good infield skills. As Jebbia tosses another one outside. As Graham has been getting himself a lengthy lead over at first there. Nebraska watching him closely. Jebbia swing and a miss from Warren. As he got a foul tip on that one. It's going to be strike 2 to Warren, and the count goes to 2-2 now. Jebbia here in the early going in this one trying to find his command as he has already walked the leadoff man here. As Xavier Warren is still at the plate for the Pilots. Graham is going and mishandled as Graham is into second easily. The catcher Miller was not able to handle that one as it was a ball from Jebbia, and it pushes the count full now. So Justin Graham has a stolen base, and he finds himself in scoring position now for the Pilots. Still none gone here in the top of the first. Warren will crack one to left. The play over to first. Warren is out, and Graham will stay put at second. And so there's one gone here in the top of the first. The shortstop Magadan able to make the play on that one. A nice clean infield play by him, and it keeps Graham at bay at second. As Alan Murphy comes to the plate now for the Pilots. Murphy from Richburg, New York. Stands on the left side of the plate, wearing number 10 for the Pilots this year. Gebbia tosses one inside. And so it's a 1-0 count now to Alan Murphy, as Graham is still over at second. Gebbia is keeping a close eye on him. Murphy sends one into opposite field, and it's going to fall, and that's going to bring Graham in. Alan Murphy will come into second, and it's an RBI double for Alan Murphy here in the top of the first, and the Pilots are on the board 1-0. First baseman, number 17, Alan Murphy gets good contact on that one and sends it to opposite field. As the left fielder for the Red Wings, Gillis, could not track it down in time. As with Murphy being a lefty, Gillis was playing far off of that third baseline. It's a good hit by Murphy to drive it into opposite field, and it brings home Graham from second. And it's an RBI double for Alan Murphy. Murphy, he was first-team All-State in high school as he played 30 games for St. John Fisher this year, as he was batting at a .287 average. It's Grady Wright now at the plate, the first baseman, batting in the cleanup spot for the Pilots here today. Wright, he's got himself a 3-0 count here against Gebbia as Murphy is over at second. There's one gone here in the top of the first. The Pilots have gotten an early run. Wright looks at 4 straight balls, and he's aboard the second walk of the inning, and Gebbia will get a mound visit. And in the early going of getting a chance to watch some of these perfect game, not sure how to phrase that one, but there's been a lot of pitchers who have struggled to find their command in the early going of games. We saw it with Ryan Marketel for the Pilots in their last game. And we see it here with Gebbia today. And personally, I think that has something to do with the fact that these players are still getting accustomed to playing with each other. And with the catcher and the pitcher trying to establish a relationship and just figure out what pitches they want to pitch, the command just seems to get away from them sometime. And so there's 2 on here with 1 gone. Pilots have already cashed in on a run as Alan Murphy was able to bring Graham in from second. It's a bunt by Dawson Bailey, but he fouls it off, and it'll be strike 1 to him. So I'm sure the Red Wings will be aware of that one in the infield as Dawson Bailey from Niagara University strides in for the Pilots. Bailey from Porter, New York, stands on the right side of the plate at 5'11", 175. Bailey thought he had himself a ball as he holed it off, but it's going to be strike 2, and so he's got an 0-2 count now. Bailey will try to stay alive here as there's 1 gone in the top of the first. Grady Wright is on first after the walk. Bailey lines one into left, and it's going to sneak through, and it's going to bring Alan Murphy home. So it's Dawson Bailey who gets an RBI single as Alan Murphy comes around from second to score as the throw is late. And it's 2-0 Pilots here in the top of the first. Richard Phillips strides in for the Pilots now. His first at-bat of the season here for Newark. As Gebbia tosses one outside for ball one. Phillips from Reynoldsburg, Ohio. Just finished up his junior year at Notre Dame College. Not the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Phillips wearing number 19 for the Pilots as he's got two men on. Dawson Bailey is down at first after the RBI single that brought Alan Murphy around from second and made it a 2-0 game Pilots. Phillips can't check his swing on that one, and so it pushes the count to 2-1 now. Gebbia is ready to deliver the 2-1 pitch to Phillips. Phillips will go around on that one. And it moves the count to 2-2 now. There's still one gone here in the top of the first. The Pilots have gotten two early runs to take a 2-0 lead on a pair of hits from Alan Murphy and Dawson Bailey. Gebbia will step off the mound and will reset here. The pitch, it's outside and it escapes Miller, and so the runners will advance. That one outside and low, and the catcher Miller couldn't handle it. And Bailey and Wright are able to advance, and so there's men on second and third now, as there's still one gone here in the top of the first. Grant Gebbia from Monroe, Michigan is trying to limit the damage, and he's just walked another one, and the bases are now loaded. Phillips with a good eye there. After he was behind in the count there, and got it back to full, and then was able to look at a ball inside. And so now it's the DH man. We saw him behind the plate in the Pilots' first game, Alexander Hernandez. Hernandez will look at strike one right down the middle as he's got the bases loaded here in the top of the first. Here's the 0-1. Hernandez able to lay off the fastball low, and it moves the count to 1-1. Hernandez fouls that one off. Just finished up his freshman year at Nova Southeastern. Another Pilot, Brandon Cruz, also from the same college as we get time here. There's a good chance for Hernandez to pick up a couple of RBIs. It's a 1-2 count to him. Hernandez looks at ball two low, and the count will go to 2-2 now. Pilots have scored 2 runs here in the top of the first, as there's one gone here in this contest between the Pilots and the Red Wings. Hernandez will look at one outside, and the count moves full, and Gebbia has to be careful here as a ball would bring in Grady Wright from third. Grant Gebbia into the windup, the payoff pitch. A swing by Hernandez, and it's chopped down the third baseline foul. Hernandez, with the bases loaded here in the top of the first, is ready for another 3-2 offering. Hernandez down the third baseline, and it's going to be fair. Phillips is pushing for third. Hernandez into second. He's safe, and he's got 2 RBIs, and it's 4-0 Pilots. Grady Wright and Dawson Bailey come around to score, and it's an RBI double for Hernandez as he brings in a pair. Tough play for the third baseman Barr for Geneva as he just got by his outstretched glove And it sailed down the third baseline. Hernandez, I didn't think he was going to push for second, but he did, and he just got in at time. So he's in at second, and Phillips was able to get all the way around to third. And it's 4-0 here in the top of the first. There's still one gone as Gebbia has struggled on the mound here in the first. We'll see if he can get things under control and maybe get something out of this outing for himself. Gebbia will toss one inside, and it's a 3-0 count as he's already walked 3 batters here in the top of the first. Gebbia into the windup. He's able to throw that one down the middle, and it's a hitter's count now to Liam Harding, who is doing the catching duties for the Pilots here today in his first appearance of the year for Newark from Staten Island, New York. He looks at strike 2 down the middle, and the count is pushed full now. Liam Harding batting from the right side of the plate. It's a full count, and he fouls one off, and he'll stay alive. In case you're just joining us here at McDonough Park, it's been a big top of the first for the Pilots bats as they're up 4-0 in this one. Harding, a swing and a miss. And Gebbia gets his first K of the evening. And there's 2 gone here in the top of the first now. Andre Marchessault will come to the plate now from Cheshire, Connecticut. Swing and a miss there as it's a big cut from Marchessault. And it's strike 1 to him. Another big cut from Marchessault, and he's quickly behind now, 0-2. As there's 2 gone here in the top of the first. Phillips is over on third. Hernandez on second. Is Gebbia into the 0-2 windup. Another big cut from Marchessault, and Gebbia is able to strike him out. But the damage is done here in the top of the first as the Pilots are up 4-0. As the Red Wings come to the plate for their first at-bat after this. Hello, folks. I'm Dan Cooter, and welcome back here to McDonough Park as we're ready for the bottom half of the first as the Red Wings will come to the plate for their first at-bats of the evening. The Pilots, they were able to get the bats going in the top of the first as they have a 4-0 lead on 3 hits. It was 41 pitches for Grant Gebbia thrown in the top of the first there. It's Brian Knapp who strides in as the leadoff man for the Red Wings as he looks at strike one. As Reynold Loomis is on the mound, here's one grounded over to Graham. Graham is able to toss it over to right, and there's quickly 1 gone here in the bottom of the first. Loomis from Livonia, New York, just finished up his freshman year at Oswego State. As he was a sectional champion 3 times with Livonia High School and was a state champion once. As the right-hander is able to throw one on the outer part of the plate for strike 1. He's wearing number 18 for the Pilots this year as he gets his first start on the mound. Jesse Hall from Tallahassee, Florida is at the plate now for the Red Wings as he looks at ball 1 up and away, and so the count will go to 1-2. Hall plays his college ball at Wallace College as he chops one down to Marchessault. Marchessault with the play over to right, and there's 2 retired here in the bottom of the first. From the city of brotherly love, the designated hitter, number 26, Livingston. So with 2 gone here in the bottom half of the first, it's Livingston that strives in. There's a tongue twister for you. Wearing number 26 for the Red Wings this year, batting from the left side of the plate. He looks at ball 1 outside from Loomis. Livingston from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That one catches the inside part of the plate for strike 1, and the count goes to 1-1. 2 gone here in the bottom of the first. The Pilots are up 4-0 in this one after a quick start from Newark. Loomis will toss one outside, and the count will go to 2-1 now. Livingston, he was 1 for 4 in the Red Wings' last appearance. As he looks at strike 2 on the inside part of the plane, and the count is at 2-2 now as there's all 2s across the scoreboard. Loomis into the windup. Livingston will chop one into right, and it's going to be a 2-out base hit. Livingston, a good job at the plate there to get around on that one as he sent it over to Dawson Bailey in center, and so he's got a 2-out base hit, and so there's 1 aboard here as Nick Nebraska comes to the plate now. Nebraska from Du Bois, Pennsylvania, plays his college ball at Youngstown State. Big man standing at 6'5", 245 on the right side of the plate. That one escapes Harding, and Livingston is going to make a run down to second, and the throw is just behind him. And so Livingston has a stolen base as the pitch escaped Harding's grasp. And I didn't think Livingston would take off there, but he did. And it turned out to be the smart play as he was able to beat the throw from Liam Harding. And so Langston Livingston moves himself into scoring position with 2 gone here in the bottom of the first. Loomis, that one chopped and it hits the ump. And Loomis didn't like that one, but Nebraska, it's going to be a base hit for him as it hit the ump. From Smyrna, Delaware, the left fielder, number 9, Jerry Gillis. And I'm being told from my lovely people to my left here that the runners are frozen when that takes place. And so there's 2 men on now as this one is chopped and is going to be foul. It's Gillis, the left fielder for the Red Wings, who comes to the plate now, as there's 2 gone here in the bottom of the first. Jared Gillis from Smyrna, Delaware, plays his college ball at Delaware State. He gets hit hard on the back. And just like that, the bases are loaded, and it looked like it was going to be an easy inning for Reynold Loomis, but he's gotten himself into a little bit of trouble as the bases are loaded here with 2 gone in the bottom of the first. Pilots up 4-0 in this one as the Red Wings are looking to get back in this one in the early going. It's Matt Magadan, the shortstop, standing in now for the Red Wings. Loomis will toss one outside, and the count goes to 1-0. Loomis ready for the 1-0 delivery. Magadan will look at strike 1, and the count goes to 1-1. Evan Magadan from Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Looks at ball 2 on the outside part of the plate, plays his college ball at Bucknell, as he was 2 for 5 in the Red Wings' last appearance, had 2 strikeouts during that game as well. Magadan will take a big cut and miss at this one, and it's strike 2. So Loomis has another 2-2 count with 2 gone as he tries to get out of the jam here in the bottom of the first. No runners have come across to score yet for Geneva as they are down 4-0. Evan Magadan will try to stay alive. A swing, and he gets a piece of that one and keeps the count at 2-2. Magadan, finished up his sophomore year at Bucknell, batting on the right side of the plate at 5'10", 185 for the Red Wings. Another 2-2. That's an off-speeder, and it gets him on the outside corner. 3 stranded here in the bottom of the first as the Pilots are up 4-0. We head to the top of the second after this. Back here at McDonough Park, I'm Dan Cooters. We welcome you back in for the top of the second and the top of the order for the Pilots as they are up 4-0 in this one. Justin Graham was able to reach on balls in his first appearance at the plate. Gebbia remains on the mound as this one is smacked up the middle by Graham. The play over to Nebraska at first, and there's one retired here in the top of the second. A good play by Magadan over at shortstop, as he was able to swing that one over to Nebraska at first, and there's quickly one gone here in the top of the second. Xavier Warren, he's 0 for 1 at the plate in the early going today, as he takes a big cut at that one and fouls it into the backstop, as it is strike one to him now. Gebbia, he threw a whopping 41 pitches in the top of the first. But he's back on the mound for the top of the second here for the Red Wings as he looks to get things under control. Gebbia into the windup for the 1-1. That one's outside for ball 2 on Warren. Gebbia, the 2-1. Warren lays off of it, but it's a strike anyway, and the count goes to 2-2 now. Xavier Warren batting from the left side of the plate, trying to stay alive here, as it's a 2-2 count. Gebbia will toss one up high, and it pushes the count full now. There's one gone here in the top of the second. Warren will crack one opposite field, but it's going to be foul. And the count will stay at 3-2. Pilots were able to gain 4 in the top of the first as they are up 4-0 in this one. Pilots with 3 hits, and Geneva has 2 of their own here, as the rain finally stays away for a Pilots game here. As Gebbia delivers one to Warren, he's going to crack it into opposite field, and he's got himself a base hit. Warren will hold up at first, and so with one gone, Xavier Warren is aboard.
Right fielder, number 10, Alan Murphy.
And Alan Murphy will come to the plate. He's 1 for 1. On the day to go with an RBI, as he was able to bring Graham home from second back in the top of the first. So Xavier Warren is over there at first as Alan Murphy strides in for his second plate appearance of the evening. He looks at strike one on the inside corner, and it's an 0-1 count for Gebbia. Gebbia keeping tabs on Warren over there at first as he goes into the stretch. That one's low and away, and Warren is easily at second. Takes a nice little round over to third, but Miller is able to retrieve the ball. And it's a wild pitch from Gebbia. And Xavier Warren is able to get over to second. So Warren working himself into scoring position here as Alan Murphy is still at the plate for the Pilots. Murphy gets wood on that one, but it's into the backstop, and the count goes to 1-2 now. Quick start here for the Pilots in this one as they lead 4-0 in case you're just joining us from here at McDonough Park in Geneva, New York. Not too long of a drive from Newark. There's Gebbia looking at Warren. Warren's going to take off. Murphy will chop one back to Gebbia. Gebbia will toss it to Nebraska for out 2. So Warren advances over to third, and there's 2 gone now in the top of the second.
Now batting the KFC Taco Bell Kidman, the first baseman, number 17,
Grady Wright will stride back in for his second plate appearance, and to his dislike, if he strikes out in this contest, get some free Taco Bell out of it. Gebbia will deliver one as Wright goes around and misses, and so it's strike one to him. Grady Wright from Fayetteville, Tennessee. I know I pronounced that wrong in the first game, but hopefully I got it right there as he looks at ball one outside. Wright plays his college ball at Lincoln Memorial University, was able to win a South Atlantic Conference championship this year. Right, he had a couple of RBIs in the Pilots opener, as he is wearing number 17 for Newark this year. He's got himself a 2-1 count with 2 gone. Warren is over at third. Wright will hold off on one way outside, and he's got himself a hitter's count at 3-1 now. Gebbia will toss ball 4 outside, and so Grady Wright will take his base, as he has been walked in both of his plate appearances to this point. Gebbia will get a mound visit from his infield here, as there's men at the corners now for the Pilots. Dawson Bailey will come back to the plate. He had an RBI in his first appearance. Bailey, first pitch swinging into center field, and that one will be caught for the final out of the inning. It's still 4-0 Pilots as they strand 2 here in the top of the second. We head to the home side of the second after this. Back here for the bottom of the second from McDonough Park as Reynold Loomis is back on the mound for his second inning of work. The right-hander playing his college ball at Oswego State, as it's Justin Barr at the plate for the Red Wings from Pensacola, Florida. Just finished up his freshman year at Central Alabama. Barr has himself a 2-1 count. Loomis with the delivery. Barr gets underneath that one, and it's fouled off. And the count will go to 2-2. 4-0 here. The Pilots lead as they were able to get 4 in the top of the first. Loomis, that one's popped up. Graham is underneath it, and he'll record out number 1 as Barr flies out to begin the bottom of the second.
From Lincoln University, Pennsylvania, the catcher number 18, Zach Miller.
The catcher, Zach Miller, comes to the plate now for the Red Wings from Lincoln University, Pennsylvania. Loomis will toss one on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. That one high and tight from Loomis, and so the count will go to 1-1. Miller plays his college ball for the University of Delaware as he looks at strike 2 as he has himself a 1-2 count now. As there's one gone here in the bottom of the second. Off speeder there from Loomis, misses outside. And the count will go to 2-2 now. Loomis is ready to go with the 2-2 offering. That one cut over to Graham at second. Graham on the short hop, able to get it over to right, and there's quickly 2 gone here in the bottom of the second.
From Western New York, right fielder number 20, Brennan Smith.
So Brennan Smith comes in. He's first pitch swing, and it's fouled over to Grady Wright, and there's quickly 3 gone, and that'll do it for the bottom of the second. It's still 4-0 Pilots from here at McDonough Park.
Leading off for the Pilots in the top half of the third inning, left fielder number 19, Richard Phillips.
Welcome back to McDonough Park. I'm Dan Cooter here on Newark Pilots TV. Pilots up 4-0 as we start the top of the third. The 6, 7, 8 hitters due up for Newark as it's Richard Phillips, the left fielder, standing in. Phillips was walked on his first plate appearance as he fouls off pitch 1 from Gebbia, who will start his 3rd inning of work. Pilots with 4 hits to this point of the game off of Gebbia. Oh, he gets knocked in the head, and Phillips falls to the ground. Oh, my. I hope he is okay. He took a hard lick to the head. And he is in a heap of discomfort. Folks, we're going to step aside here as they attend to Richard Phillips. We hope that he's okay, as we will be back as they tend to Phillips here at McDonough Park. Hello, folks. Back here at McDonough Park, as you see Richard Phillips being stretchered off. In case you missed it, a pitch that caught Phillips in the head sent him to the ground, and not exactly sure of his condition and how serious it is, but he was conscious, and we hope that he is okay. As it was a strange circumstance, as it looked as though Phillips wanted to exit the batter's box. And as he was doing so, the pitch came anyway and struck Phillips in the head and sent him to the ground. So we're not exactly sure of Phillips's well-being, but he was conscious, and so we hope for all the best as the ambulance will take him off to the hospital as we get set to resume play here from McDonough Park after the delay. I believe it will be Parker Tadlock who will be taking Phillips' place. So it's a 4-0 Pilots lead here, as Phillips was the leadoff man in the top of the third. It's Tadlock who will replace him, number 2 for the Pilots. As Gebbia will stay on the mound for the Red Wings. It's kind of a freak accident there. We apologize for the delay there, and then somewhat of confusion that was going on, but we hope that Phillips is okay, and we will get set to resume play here. Gebbia getting himself warmed up once again after the somewhat lengthy delay. And in case you're just joining us here at McDonough Park, it's a 4-0 lead for the Pilots as we are early on in this one. They were able to get 4 in the top of the first. Loomis has 2 scoreless innings under his belt on the mound for Newark. Gebbia, he's given up 4 hits so far in this one to go along with the 4 runs.
First base, number 2, Parker Tadlock. Now batting for the Pilots, designated hitter, number 6, Alexander Hernandez.
So as Phillips was struck in the head, Tadlock takes his place and will be down at first. And we'll see how the positions lay out as Phillips was out in left field for the Pilots. It's the DH for the night, Alexander Hernandez, who will step in for the Pilots as we're set to resume play here at McDonough Park. Grant Gebbia is still on the mound for the Red Wings, as there's none gone here in the top of the third. Hernandez will first pitch swing at that one. It's popped off. Nebraska trying to get it, and it was a tricky play for him. And it'll drop foul, and the count will go to 0-1. Nebraska would have been kind of somewhat of a football catch as he was looking over his back shoulder trying to get that one. But it was able to drop foul, and so Hernandez gets away with one there. And it's strike one recorded to him. Tadlock is over on first. Hernandez, he'll look at ball one upstairs, and so the count will go to 1-1 on him now. Grant Gebbia ready to deliver the 1-1. Hernandez rips one down the left field baseline, and it's going to be fair. Tadlock is wheeling around third, and he's going to come in. No, he'll hold up. Oh, he got lucky there. As Magadan was the relay man, and as Tadlock was rounding third, Colbert holding him up. But it's a stand-up double for Alexander Hernandez, and it advances Tadlock over to third. And so with none gone here in the top of the third, Pilots are threatening to add to their 4-0 lead that they already have. Liam Harding, who struck out back in the top of the first, will come to the plate as he takes one high upstairs. And I'm not sure how much of a mental game that can be after seeing something that happened to Phillips. You see that pitch coming high and tight. As Gebbia has been all over the strike zone tonight. Harding has a 2-0 count to him now. He'll look at ball three in the dirt. As Harding is doing the duties behind home plate for the Pilots tonight. As Gebbia is into the windup on the 3-0. He gets strike one to fall, and so it's a 3-1 count to Liam Harding now. Harding looks at strike two, and the count is full now. Harding plays his college ball at Rider University. Fouls that one back, and the count will stay full as he stays alive on that one. Harding played in 27 games for Rider, started in 9 of them. He was 2 for 4 in his debut with Rider. As he chops this one over to Magadan, going home with it, and Tadlock is going to be out at home. As there's men at the corners now, and Tadlock could have easily held up on that one. As he did not have to come home on that.
Third baseman, number 7, Andre Marchessault.
So Andre Marchessault comes to the plate now for the Pilots. There's men at the corners now. As Harding was able to get down to first on the fielder's choice, but Tadlock is tagged out at home. And so there's one gone now here in the top of the third. Marchessault, he struck out back in the first at the hands of Gebbia. Gebbia into the stretch, and he'll throw ball one. A strike one, excuse me. Marchessault from Cheshire, New York, plays his college ball at LaSalle. As he played in 32 games for LaSalle and batted at .345 this past year and had 24 RBIs. Miller is able to keep that one in front of him as Gebbia threw one in the dirt, and that'll keep the runner squared. as there's still one gone here. It's a 1-1 count to Marcia Show. That one will catch the inside part of the plate, and the count will go to 1-2 on Andre Marcia Show. That batting from the right side of the plate, wearing number 7 for the Pilots this year. Just the second game of the year for the Pilots as they are 0-1 on the year after a 9-7 loss. That one's high and tight, and Hernandez is going to come home to score on the wild pitch, and then it escapes, and Harding is going to move his way over to third. He slides in, and he's going to be safe. Another dangerous pitch from Gebbia. Chin high on Marcia Show as he had to duck out of the way of that one. And so it's a wild pitch from Grant Gebbia that allows Alexander Hernandez to come home and score. And it extends the Pilots' lead to 5-0. So it's a wild pitch charged to Gebbia. Miller will get an error as well. Marcia Show with a big cut on that one, and he'll strike out. So there's 2 gone now. As Justin Graham will come up as we head to the top of the order for the 3rd time already in this game. Harding was able to get all the way over to third as Graham will first pitch hit this one down to the third baseman over to Lebraska. So there's 1 stranded, but 1 scores for the Pilots, and it's 5-0 as we head to the bottom half of the 3rd after this. Welcome back here to Newark Pilots TV. I'm Dan Cooter as the Pilots up 5-0 in this one as we go to the bottom half of the 3rd. We head to the top of the order for the Red Wings as it's Brian Knapp who comes back in. He's 0 for 1 at the plate so far. Reynold Loomis, after the lengthy delay, has been off the mound for a while now as he comes back on to pitch for the Pilots. He's pitched 2 scoreless innings. He's allowed 2 hits to this point. Loomis threw ball 1 outside, and now Knapp will swing and foul that one off, and so the count will go to 1-1. Loomis, the right-hander, has looked good on the mound to this point for the Pilots as Knapp flies one down the left baseline. Oh, Warren coming over there from shortstop, and he missed that one as it went off his glove, and so Knapp is going to be into second. as that one was in foul territory, but Warren got a piece of it. And so it's an error charged to Warren. He came all the way over there from shortstop. I was kind of surprised to see him underneath that ball compared to someone maybe Parker Tadlock, who has taken over at left field for Phillips. And so the leadoff man is aboard for Knapp, and he's over at second in scoring position. Loomis will throw strike one in there. As Loomis checks over there on Knapp and throws an off-speeder that just misses outside and moves the count to 1-1 now. It's Hall, the second baseman, striding back in for his second appearance as he smacks one to opposite field. That one down the first baseline, coming around to score is Knapp. Pushing for second is Hall, and he is in there. It's an RBI double for Hall, and the Red Wings are on the board as it's 5-1 now.
Now batting from the city of brotherly love, your designated hitter, number 26, Livingston.
Hall with a nice hit there as he was able to drive that one into opposite field, and that allowed Knapp to come around and score from second. Hall was able to push for second as well and slide in there with a double, and so he finds himself in scoring position as Loomis gives up his first run of the game. It's Langston Livingston, who is 1 for 1 at the plate tonight. He had a 2-out single back in the bottom of the first for the Red Wings. Loomis will throw one high, and so the count will go to 1-1. Still no outs here in the bottom of the third as the Red Wings have cut into the Pilots' lead, as it is a 5-1 ball game now. Loomis into the windup. That one in the dirt, and it's going to allow Hall to come around to third. And so it's a wild pitch by Reynold Loomis. And Hall is over there at third base now, and so a base hit would bring him in from Livingston. It's a 2-1 count to him as there's still none gone. Livingston from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, plays his college ball at St. Joseph's. That's another ball, and so it's a hit. Livingston, this one chopped back to the mound. Loomis will keep tabs on Hall over at third, so he has to stay put, and Loomis is able to lay that one over to right for the out, and so Livingston is retired. There's 2 gone now here in the bottom of the third. There's 1 out, yeah, 1 out. Only 1 gone. As Hall is still over there on third. Nebraska, the first baseman, comes back to the plate as he looks at strike one. Nick Nebraska, he was 2 for 2. As he had a hit and an RBI. As he comes around at this one, he fouled it off, though, and so Hall has to stay put at third. Nebraska from Du Bois, Pennsylvania, goes to Youngstown State. That's from that right side of the plate. He stands at 6'5", and he's trying to bring Hall in from third. That one's in the dirt. Harding keeps in front of him. Hall's coming home. The throw to Loomis, the tag. He's safe. Loomis missed the tag on him. An aggressive play by Hall to come home, but he beats the tag. And it's 5-2 now as the Red Wings get 2 now here in the bottom of the third. So Hall gets himself an RBI and then comes around to score as well as Nebraska goes on the off-speeder. Marcia Show with the play over to first, right, and there's 2 gone now.
Now batting for the Wings from Smyrna, Delaware, the left fielder, number 9, Jared Gillis.
Jared Gillis, the left fielder, will come back at the plate. Gillis, he was hit by a pitch from Loomis back in the first as he takes strike 1. The count is 0-1. There's 2 gone. Red Wings have gotten back a pair of runs as it's a 5-2 ball game now. The Pilots lead. Pilots were able to get 4 in the top of the first and then 1 in the top of the third. As Loomis is into the windup. That one's right down the middle, and it's a 1-2 count to Gillis now. Loomis into the windup. Gillis will chop one down the third base. Over to Marcia Show. Snagged by Wright, but he couldn't get it. A throw in the dirt from Marcia Show. And Grady Wright couldn't scoop it out of the dirt. And Gillis is aboard with 2 outs. It's going to be an error charge to Marcia Show, as Grady Wright was not able to scoop that one out of the dirt. And so the Red Wings will try and tack on a couple more runs here in the bottom half of the third. They've already gotten 2, and there's still 2 gone now. Loomis looking for the pickoff play over to Gillis, but Gillis is back in plenty of time. The shortstop for the Red Wings, Magadan, comes back to the plate now. He fouls that one off for strike 1. Magadan, he struck out back in the second inning. Loomis takes a peek over at Gillis again, as Loomis tries to limit the damage here in the bottom of the third. Magadan can't check his swing on that one, and so he's quickly in an 0-2 hole. Loomis into the stretch. That one up and in for ball 1. Gillis still over there. First, Loomis goes over there with the quick pickoff play, but Gillis is back just in the nick of time. That effort from Loomis, a good one, as he even caught me off guard a little bit there. Loomis will quickly deliver one to Magadan. Chop down to Marcia Show again. Can he make the play over to Wright? The stretch by Wright, and he gets him this time. Red Wings get 2. And it's 5-2 game now. Pilots lead. We head to the top of the 4th. I'm Dan Cooter here on Newark Pilots TV. A 5-2 Pilots lead as we welcome you back to McDonough Park. We pick it up here in the top half of the fourth. It's Xavier Warren who will lead off for Newark. And a new pitcher for the Red Wings. It's the right-hander Mark Bobko from Metrichem, New Jersey. And he's ready to deliver to Warren. It's ball one. Bobko wearing number 10 for the Red Wings this year. Stands at 6'0", 190 on the mound. Pitches at Bloomsburg. That one in there for strike one, and the count will go to 1-1 now. Warren, 1 for 2 on the day. He was able to hit one into left his last appearance at the plate. He looks at a ball outside, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike to Warren now. Bobko taking over for Gebbia, who went 3 innings and allowed 5 runs as he leaves the game trailing 5-2. Warren has himself a 3-1 count. He'll look at one on the inside part of the plate, and it moves the count full as Bobko looking to retire the leadoff man here in the top of the fourth. Bobko ready to go with the full count delivery. Warren crushes one into center, tracking back after it and making the play. Knapp is back there in center field to track that one down as Warren got good wood on it, but it just didn't carry enough. And Knapp is able to grab that one in center field, and so there's one gone here in the top of the fourth as Bobko is able to get the leadoff man. Alan Murphy comes back to the plate for his 3rd at-bat of the night as he takes a crack at that one on the first pitch, and it's strike one as he fouls it off into the backstop. Murphy 1 for 2 on the night. As he had an RBI single. That one catches the dirt for ball 1. He brought Graham around to score. That started the 4-run first inning for the Pilots. Murphy hits one to left. That one fouled up in the air. Oh, and a miscommunication there, and that will be a foul ball as no one touched it on its way to the ground. As Barr and Magadan came together there, the third baseman and the shortstop, and a play we saw similar in the last inning where Warren came over from shortstop and there was a miscommunication, but that one went off his glove and he was charged with an error as the Red Wings runner was able to get around to second on that play, but this one will fall foul, and so Murphy is back at the plate, and it's another one by Bobko that doesn't make it to home plate as it catches the dirt in front. And the count goes to 2-2 now. As Murphy, who got away with a foul ball, will try to make Bobko pay now. Murphy fouls another one off, but this one is well out of here, and so the count will remain at 2-2 to Murphy as he's able to stay alive on that pitch. Murphy standing at 6'0", 175 from Richburg, New York on that left side of the plate. He's got another 2-2 delivery coming from Bobko. That one's outside, and he's able to lay off of it, and he pushes the count full now. Murphy, as mentioned, played 30 games this past year for St. John Fisher, batting at .287. As he's had a couple of hits already this year for the Pilots. A full count, drove down the right field. Good play by Nebraska. Tosses it over to Bobko, who's covering. And there's 2 gone. A nice play by Nebraska to get that one down the first baseline to retire Murphy.
First baseman, number 17, Grady Wright.
So the first baseman, Grady Wright, comes to the plate now as there's 2 gone here in the top of the 4th. It's a 5-2 Pilots lead here from McDonough Park in Geneva, New York, as the sun is set here on a chilly night for some baseball. No men on here as there's 2 gone. Wright gets his first look at Bobko, and that one is outside for ball 1. Bobko, that one catches the inside part of the plate, and it moves the count to 1-1. Bobko, that one outside. Grady Wright, he has been walked in both of his plate appearances so far tonight. He'll take a swing at that one and foul it off. And there's all 2s across the board now as Wright will try to stay alive here now. Bobko ready with the 2-2 delivery. Wright able to foul that one off and stay alive. So it's still a 2-2 count to Grady Wright as Bobko is into the windup and ready to deliver. Wright fouls another one off right into the same area. So Grady Wright just fighting off a couple of pitches until he can find the one that he wants. He stands at 6'1", 210 on that left side of the plate from Lincoln Memorial University. That bat resting on his shoulder. Ready for another 2-2. A swing and a miss, and they go down in order. Bobko gets him to go. 5-2 Pilots lead. We head to the bottom of the 4th from here at McDonough Park. Reynold Loomis is back on the mound for his 4th inning of work here at McDonough Park as he gave up a pair in the bottom of the 3rd as it's a 5-2 Pilots lead. As it's Barr back at the plate, 0 for 1 on the night. Justin Barr from Pensacola, Florida. Looks at ball 2 outside, and so he's got a 2-1 count as he leads off the bottom of the 4th here. Loomis tosses one in there. It's high, though, and so it's a 3-1 count to Barr now. Barr will take a crack at that one. It's hit the left. Tadlock back at the warning track, and he's got it.
From Lincoln University, Pennsylvania, the catcher number 18, Zach Miller.
Justin Barr got a big piece of that one, and it pushed the left fielder, Parker Tadlock, all the way back to the warning track, but he was able to make the catch, and so there's 1 gone now here in the bottom of the 4th. It's Zach Miller from Lincoln University, Pennsylvania. He looks at strike 1 on the outside part of the plate. That's the furthest hit we've seen in this game, as that one looked like it had a chance at exiting the ballpark. But it is not easy to get one out of here as he looks at strike 2, as it's 325 to both the corners, 402 in the middle, but I'd say it gets just around 410 back there almost. There's a swing and a miss, and 3 pitches at all it took, and down he goes swinging. And so there's quickly 2 gone here in the bottom of the 4th as the catcher Miller goes down on strikes.
Now batting for the Wings from Western New York, right fielder number 20, Brennan Smith.
Brennan Smith, the right fielder for the Red Wings, comes back to the plate. 0 for 1 on the night. Wearing number 20 for the Red Wings this year, trying to get on bases. There's quickly 2 gone. We've seen this a couple times from Loomis as it's fouled off by Smith, and it moves the count to 1-1. He's been able to get in ahead of counts, and he's been able to get the first 2 batters down quite easily here in this one. A little hiccup in the bottom of the 3rd allowed 2 to come across home plate, but he has a 3-run cushion here in the bottom of the 4th. Loomis, an off-speeder, misses low, and the count will go to 2-1. We've seen Loomis use that off-speeder a couple of times tonight. He's gotten a strikeout on it as he got Magadan looking back in the bottom of the 1st. That one's fouled off into the netting right behind us. And so the count will go to 2-2. There's 2 gone here in the bottom of the 4th. Loomis trying to retire the side. That one chopped down to Marchessault. Marchessault able to make the play over to right. He'll make the tag, and that'll do it. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Loomis. It's a still 5-2 game. The Pilots lead. We welcome you back in here to McDonough Park as we start the top of the fifth. It's the Pilots up 5-2 on the Geneva Red Wings. As the center fielder Dawson Bailey is back at the plate for the Pilots. Bailey 1 for 2 on the night as he had an RBI in his first plate appearance. He gets that one off the end of the bat as it goes foul for strike one. Bobko back on the mound for the Red Wings, his second inning of work. An off-speeder breaking in. Couldn't catch the plate, though, and so the count will go to 2-1. Dawson Bailey plays his college ball at Niagara University. That one off the toe of the bat once again. But it'll fall foul down the first baseline. The count will remain at 2-2 now. Bailey, the leadoff man here in the top of the fifth, as the Pilots lead 5-2. Dawson Bailey, we've seen him have some early success at the plate. Hard to judge, though, as it's only second game of the year for the Pilots, as they've had 2 rained out already on them this year. Bobko delivers one low, and it'll put the count full on Dawson Bailey now. Dawson Bailey appeared in 26 games in his freshman year for Niagara, started in 12 of them, batting at 153 on the year. Bobko is ready with the 3-2. That one chopped right back up to Bobko. He snares it and softly tosses it over to Labasco at first. And the leadoff man is retired here in the top of the fifth. So Parker Tadlock makes his first appearance at the plate after replacing Richard Phillips, who went down with a scary hit to the head by a pitch from Gebbia, as he was taken to the hospital in an ambulance, as we're unsure of his condition as of now. But it's Tadlock who replaces him in left field and comes to the plate now, batting in the 6th spot in the Pilots' order. Phillips, he was walked on his first appearance before being hit. As Tadlock is quickly in an 0-2 hole as there's one gone after Bailey was retired. Tadlock plays his college ball at Angelo State. Able to hold off on one low, and the count will go to 1-2 now. Bobko looking to get the second out of the inning. Tadlock strikes one down the first baseline. Bobko is able to help him out, and there's quickly 2 gone now here in the top of the fifth as Tadlock grounds out to first. Nick Nebraska from Du Bois, Pennsylvania, has been plenty busy over there at first, but he's been able to make the plays when counted on. There's Bobko over there to help him at first to retire Tadlock. Alexander Hernandez comes back to the plate now. 1 for 2 as he had an RBI back in the first. He looks at strike one from Bobko, who has been strong since coming out for Gebbia back in the 4th inning. Hernandez, he's quickly behind 0-2, and we've seen Bobko get ahead in plenty of the counts here in the Pilots hitters that he has faced, and now Hernandez has to get aggressive at the plate. As it's an 0-2 count. There's 2 gone here in the top of the fifth. Bobko trying to paint the outside corner with that one, but Derek Gajinski, the home plate umpire for this one would not budge on that call. But Hernandez pops one up, but it's going to head into the fan section. And it'll keep the count at 1-2 now. Derek Gainsky, he's your home plate umpire for tonight's contest. Connor McKenzie is doing the bases. Alexander Hernandez looks at strike 3, and they go down 1-2-3 here in the top of the 5th. Still 5-2. We head to the home side of the 5th after this.
Redwood City, California, the center fielder number 14, Brian.
Bottom half of the 5th as we welcome you back to McDonough Park. Pilots up 5-2 as Reynold Loomis is back on the mound for his 5th inning of work now, as he has looked strong here in his first appearance of the season for the Pilots. Red Wings head to the top of the order. It's Knapp who comes back to the plate, the center fielder. 0 for 2 on the evening. Knapp looks at 3 straight balls, and so it's a 3-0 count to him to lead off the bottom of the 5th here. He'll take, and it'll be a strike, and so it's a hitter's count now. As Loomis is ready to deal. That one's outside. Knapp will take his base, and so it's a leadoff walk to start the bottom of the 5th. As Knapp is aboard.
Batting from Tallahassee, Florida, second baseman number 7, Jesse Hall.
Jesse Hall, wearing number 7 for the Red Wings, comes to the plate now. 1 for 2 on the evening, had an RBI his last time up. Loomis tosses one outside for ball 1, so Knapp is over at first after being walked to lead off the bottom of the 5th here. Loomis tosses one. Marchessault makes the play, trying to turn 2. Over, they get it. It's a 5-4-3 double play, and there's quickly 2 gone here in the bottom of the 5th now. One error for the Pilots tonight, but Loomis has gotten some good infielding as the Pilots and there's quickly 2 gone now. Loomis will toss strike 1 in, and it's 0-2 now. Loomis will toss ball 1 in there to Langston Livingston, who's back at the plate. 1 for 2 on the evening. Loomis, who we mentioned is a 3 times sectional champ with Livonia, was able to grab a state title as well. He plays at Oswego State now as he just finished his freshman year there. As he stands at 6'3", 185 on the mound, and he's had himself a good evening as he throws an off-speeder in there on Livingston, and it catches the inside part of the plate, and so it's a 2-2 count with 2 gone here in the bottom of the 5th. As Loomis is trying to retire his 6th straight batter. Livingston chopped down to right, and he can't get his outstretched glove on it. And it's the 2nd time of the game Livingston has a RBI 2-out single. Not an RBI, just a single. Excuse me.
Now batting from Du Bois, Pennsylvania, first baseman number 31, Nick Lebraska.
But we did see that after Livingston back there in the bottom of the 1st was able to get on with the 2-out single, he was able to get all the way around to 3rd before Loomis got himself out of the inning. So we'll see if Nick Lebraska can do anything at the plate as there's 2 gone now. Lebraska gets a little stare back to Iinski as that one was inside, but it falls for strike 1. Loomis, that one, Lebraska chops into left. Marchessault can't handle it. Warren is able to back him up, and now there's 2 on with 2 outs as Nick Lebraska has himself a single.
Now batting for the Red Wings from Smyrna, Delaware, the left fielder number 9, Jared Gillis.
The left fielder, Jared Gillis, comes back to the plate. Matt Colbert will come out to the mound to talk to Loomis. And we'll see how much longer Reynold Loomis can go in this game. He has a 5-2 lead. As the Pilots were able to get 4 quick ones back in the top of the 1st, they added 1 in the 3rd. Red Wings came back to get 2 in the bottom half of the 3rd, and we stand at 5-2 now. There's 2 gone. Nick Lebraska and Langston Livingston have both gotten singles to get themselves on. As to the right swinging Gillis at the plate now. Loomis, an off speeder, catches Gillis. Swinging at air there. And it's strike 1 to him. Gillis trying to do something here with 2 outs. He takes a crack at that one. It's fouled back. Harding able to barehand that one, but it hits the plate first, and so it'll move the count to 0-2. Gillis has got to get aggressive here at the plate now as he's got Livingston in scoring position, but he's down in the 0-2 hole here. That one's outside. Gillis is able to hold off of it, and the count will go to 1-2 now. And what could be a big hit for Gillis as he would love to try and get Livingston over from second. Another 1-2. He's able to hold off. A good eye there from Gillis. And the count goes to 2-2 now. Loomis ready with the 2-2. That one's fouled back as Gillis is able to stay alive. Loomis ready with another 2-2. Gillis chops it to Graham at second. Graham able to scoop it and toss it over to right. So there's 2 men stranded here in the bottom of the 5th. Pilots still up 5-2 as we head to the away side of the 6th after this.
The catcher Liam Harding will get us going here at the top of the 6th. Pilots have a 5-2 lead. As Bob Coe is back on the mound for the Red Wings to pitch his third inning of work. He's scoreless in this point after taking over Grant Jabbia without 5. Harding will take strike 1 on the inside side of the plate. We saw Alexander Hernandez handle the catching duties back in the Mohawk Valley game. The Pilots lost 9-7. Harding takes a big cut and misses it that way, so he's quickly behind 0-2. Bob Coe has looked strong on the mound since replacing Jebbia. He's been able to get ahead of a lot of counts. An off-speeder drove into right field by Harding, but underneath it is Smith to make the out. So the leadoff man is retired here in the top of the 6th. Andre Marchessault, he's been busy over there at third base tonight as he strides back in for the Pilots. An off-speeder by Bob Coe is taken by Marchessault, but it's strike 1. Marchessault, he had a strikeout back in his first appearance at the plate, and he is quickly behind 0-2, and it's been a similar theme with Bob Coe. He's been able to get ahead and counts 0-2, and it's really given the Pilots batters fits since he's come into the game. An off-speeder. That one's flown up into the air by Marchessault. The second baseman, Hall, is underneath it. And there's 2 gone here in the bottom of the 6th as things have started to speed up as the bats have gone cold for both teams here at McDonough Park.
Second baseman, number 12, Justin Graham.
Back to the top of the order for the Pilots. It's Justin Graham who comes back to the plate. Bob Coe, another strike in there, and it's 0-1. He's been good with those off-speeders, too. As we haven't seen the Pilots really go around on many of them. We saw Marchessault take a crack at one there, but he flew out to the second baseman, Hall. Bob Coe throws one outside there, and so the count moves to 1-1 on Graham. Bobko's off-speeder misses low there, and so the count goes to 2-1 as there's 2 gone here. As Bobko is looking to have another 1-2-3 inning under his belt. That one well outside as Graham holds off. And it's a 3-1 count after 3 straight balls now from Bobko. Bobko ready with the 3-1 delivery. Oh, and a bunt opportunity there from Graham. But it'll fall for a strike as Graham was not able to hold off on that one. I'm not sure exactly what his intentions were there, as maybe he didn't like the pitch that he saw as it was coming in. But he was not able to back off on it, and so it's a called strike, and the count goes full on him. As Bobko is ready with the 3-2 offering. Graham holds off, but it's going to be ball 4 as it was low and away. They say he doesn't go around. And so Justin Graham is aboard with a 2-out walk. Xavier Warren comes back to the plate now. Warren had that nice opposite field hit back in his second plate appearance. He is 1 for 3 on the evening. Warren takes a crack at that one, and it's a foul ball right into the backstop. As Justin Graham is over at first after being walked here with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Pilots lead 5-2 over the Geneva Red Wings here at McDonough Park. Graham's going. The throw down, it's high, and Magnan can't handle it. Graham is in there safely, and he has his second stolen base of the evening, and he gets himself into scoring position. And we saw him do this back in the top of the first as he was walked, stole his base over to second, and then came around to score. We'll see if he can do it again as Xavier Warren has a 1-1 count to him. And it just goes to show you the simple walk can end up happening. As Bobko throws ball 1 in there. And so the count goes to 1-2 as that one was outside to Xavier Warren. As we're in the top of the 6th, Pilots haven't been able to get anything since the top of the 3rd when they got a run. Warren would love to try and drive in Graham here. He has a 1-2 count. Bobko will back off and will reset. Warren ready to accept the 1-2 offering from Bobko. Warren holds off. It's in the dirt. Miller does a good job to keep it in front of him, and Graham will retreat back to second as he took a peek over at third. But the catcher, Zach Miller, does a good job behind home plate there to guard the plate and keep that one in front of him. And so the count is 2-2 to Warren now. Warren goes around on that one, chopped down to Hall at second, over to Nebraska, and that'll do it for the top of the 6th. It's still 5-2 Pilots. I'm Dan Cooter here on Newark Pilots TV. We'll be back as the Red Wings come to the plate next. We welcome you back to McDonough Park as we are set for the bottom of the sixth as the Red Wings are back at the plate. And the bats have gone quite cold for both sides here, as Reynold Loomis finds himself back on the mound for his 6 innings of work, as he has been strong on the mound for the Pilots tonight. An off-speeder by him is outside, and so the count will go to 1-1, as it's the shortstop, Evan Magadan, back at the plate from Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Plays his college ball at Bucknell University. He fouls that one back, and it's going to head right over the dugout of the Pilots, as Andre Marchessault is not able to make a play on it. And that foul ball will move the count to 1-2 now on Magadan. Loomis is ready for the 1-2 offering here. The off speeder, and Magadan is able to drive that one into right field. So Magadan is on with a leadoff single to start the bottom of the sixth, and
third baseman number 11, Justin Barr.
Justin Barr will come to the plate, and we haven't seen many of the Red Wings hitters been able to solve that off-speed pitch by Loomis, but Magadan does a good job to get in front of it, and he sends it to opposite field and has himself a leadoff single. And then this one is cracked up in the air to right field by Barr, but underneath it is Alan Murphy, and he'll make the play back into the infield, and so Magadan has to retreat, and there's one gone now here in the bottom of the sixth. Bat Boy is doing a good job.
From Lincoln University, Pennsylvania, the catcher number 18, Zach Miller.
Miller doing the catching duties for the Red Wings comes back at the plate as he tries to advance the runner Magadan. First pitch swinging at this one. Marchessault with the diving play. He has to go over to right. Good play by Marchessault there as he was stumbling and realized that he wasn't going to be able to beat Magadan over to second. And so with the fielder's choice, he goes down to first. The runner advances into scoring position, but there's 2 gone now here in the bottom of the sixth. And even though Magadan was able to get the leadoff hit, Loomis has done an extraordinary job tonight of getting those 2 quick outs. And he's done it once again here in the bottom of the sixth. The Pilots are up 5-2. We haven't seen any runs come across home plate since the bottom of the third when the Red Wings scored a pair. As Loomis gets that one in to fall for a strike. Pilots have not had a hit in quite some time on their side of the plate. As Evan Magadan, the shortstop, had the leadoff single for the Red Wings. Liam Harding will head out to the mound to have a chat with Loomis. As Reynold Loomis is back at plate now. He's peeking over there at Magadan, and now he'll deliver. An off speeder, and not being able to hold off on that one is Smith. And so the count is 1-2. Loomis, he had some strong starts this year for Oswego State, as he had 5 innings pitched and only gave up 2 hits. Oh, Loomis was off the mound on that one, as it was low. Yes, Gajinski, was that low? And a nod from Gajinski clarifies things for Loomis. As the count goes to 2-2, there's 2 gone. Red Wings have 1 in scoring position. Smith will foul one off down the third baseline. And Ronald Loomis and company at Oswego State were able to win themselves a conference championship this year before losing in regionals. Another 2-2 offering from Loomis. An off speeder. That one misses high, and it runs the count full now. The right fielder, Smith, looking for his first hit of the evening. As Magadan is still over there at second. That one cracked into center field. Backtracking is Dawson Bailey, but he has it for the third out. So after 6, it's still 5-2. Newark leads Geneva here at McDonough Park. We'll be right back on Newark Pilots TV. Welcome back to Newark Pilots TV. I'm Dan Cooter. We get set to go here in the top of the 7th. Pilots still up 5-2, and it's Alan Murphy who will lead us off here. Bobko, he's back on the mound for the Red Wings to pitch his 4th inning of work, as he's pitched 3 scoreless ones to this point. He throws ball 1 outside to get us going. Murphy gets a hold of that one into right field. It's up in the air, though. And underneath it is Smith. Take the out. So there's quickly 1 gone here in the top of the 7th, and that has been a reoccurring theme here for both teams at the plate. It's Grady Wright who will stride back in for Newark now. And we have seen both teams get a lot of balls up in the air, but they've just hung there. And so there's quickly 1 gone as Bobko throws ball 1 in the dirt. Wright drills one down the first baseline, and Grady Wright will hold up at first, and he has himself a single, and it's the first hit we've seen from the Pilots in quite some time.
Center fielder, number 11, Dawson Bailey.
As it's a 1-out single for Grady Wright as Dawson Bailey comes to the plate now. And we'll see if the Pilots can make anything come of this. With Grady Wright now down on first. Bobko ready to go. Dawson Bailey hits one into left. Wright will hold it second, and there's 2 on now as Dawson Bailey takes a crack at the first pitch and hits it into left field, and so there's 2 on now.
Number 2, Parker Tadlock.
With 1 gone here in the top of the 7th, and Parker Tadlock comes back to the plate now for the Pilots. First time we've seen the Pilots really do any damage against Bobko. As there's 2 on now. An off speeder falls in there to Tadlock, and it's 0-1. Bobko ready to go with the 0-1. That one paints the corner, and it's 0-2 count to Parker Tadlock now. As the right-hander Bobko is ready with the 0-2. An off-speeder as Tadlock is out in front of it, but he fouls it off. And the count will remain at 0-2. Men on first and second for the Pilots here as they try to do some damage in the top half of the seventh, as they're still up 5-2 in this one. Tadlock, that one chopped over to Bobko. They'll try to turn two. That one's high and over the head, and Grady Wright is going to come home to score. Oh, never mind. Oh, they're going to call him out as Dawson Bailey evidently got into the way of the throw. And that's going to do it. Dawson Bailey will look for an explanation, but we'll stretch it out here at McDonough Park. It's still 5-2 Pilots as we head to the bottom of the seventh.
Mexican restaurant is opening soon, right next to Staples on Hamilton Street in Geneva. Save your ticket to any Red Wings home game and receive a free queso. Landing field purchase.
Bottom of the seventh, excuse me, back here at McDonough Park is a new pitcher is on the mound for the Pilots. It's Jacob Polishek. The right-hander plays his college ball in Millersville. So it's 6 innings of work for Reynold Loomis, and a good outing for him as he gives up 2, and he leaves the game with a 5-2 lead. Jacob Polishek from Frederick, Maryland stands at 6'3", 200 pounds on the mound for the Pilots, making his first appearance of the year. Red Wings will try to get something going with the new pitcher as we head to the bottom of the seventh now. It was an exciting start to this game for the Pilots as they were able to tag on 4 in the top of the first. They got 1 in the top of the third, but the bats have gone cold for them since. As Geneva would strike back with 2 in the bottom of the third, and that leads us with a 5-2 ball game. As we get deeper into this one, Pilots are still looking for their first win of the year. As we are set to go here in the bottom of the third.
Top of the 7th inning from Redwood City, California. Your center fielder, number 14, Brian Knapp.
Red Wings go to the top of the order. It's Brian Knapp who comes back to the plate. He came across to score way back in the bottom of the third. As he's out there in center field today for Geneva. Jacob Polishak is ready to go on the mound as we get going. It's a first pitch hit right up the middle for Knapp to get us going here in the bottom of the 7th, and the leadoff man is aboard for the Red Wings. So Knapp didn't waste any time getting acclimated with Jacob Polishak as he liked what he saw, and he drilled it right past his ankles and over second base, and he has himself a leadoff single. Just what the Red Wings were looking for to get us going, and we saw in the last inning, Evan Magadan was able to get on board to lead us off, but the Red Wings were quickly retired after that. Geneva looking for a different result this inning. It's Polishak who gets an off-speeder to fall there in the strike zone, and so Jesse Hall is behind in the count, 0-1 now. Jesse Hall, he was also able to come across home plate and score in that bottom of the third inning for the Red Wings. An off-speeder again from Polishak catches the inside corner, and so Jesse Hall finds himself in an 0-2 hole here as there's none gone. Knapp is over at first after the leadoff single. Polishak takes a peek over and will throw down to Grady Wright, but Knapp is back to first in time. Polishak will get a visit here from Liam Harding as they discuss what payoff pitch they want to use on Jesse Hall to try and get the first out of this inning. Harding and Polishak, their first work on the mound together, so that familiarity factor not there with these two, and so Harding just wanted to run over what he wanted from Polishak. Polishak, that one's low, and it's the first ball to Hall, and it moves the count to 1-2 now. Polishak ready with the 1-2 delivery now. That one's inside at the hands. Hall will lay off, and the count goes to 2-2 now. So Polishak, who had himself an 0-2 count, throws back-to-back balls, and the count goes to 2-2 on Jesse Hall now. Hall, that one in the dirt. Harding will keep it in front of him. Hall lays off, and the count runs full now. Last thing Polishak wants to do is walk him now. Polishak throws down to first. Not in time, though. As he's just keeping Knapp honest over there at first. There's still none gone as Jesse Hall has got a 3-2 count coming from Polishak. Hall, that one chopped over to the second baseman, Graham, and he makes the play. And so there's one gone. And Knapp is forced to stay over there at first.
Designated hitter number 26, Langston Livingston.
Langston Livingston comes back in for the Red Wings. 2 hits on the evening for him, as he's had a pretty good night at the plate. As he looks to be a tough out in this one, as Polishak will have to do his work on him. Knapp is over at first still, as there's 1 gone now. Livingston can't hold on that one, as Knapp is back to first, as Harding threw down there after Livingston could not hold off in the pitch in the dirt. And so the count goes to 0-1 now. Polishak, he's been keeping close eye over there on Knapp at first. And now the delivery. Harding tries to hold that one, but it's going to fall inside. And so the count goes to 1-1 now. Polishak delivers that one, and Livingston fouls it off for strike number 2. Polishak trying to get the second out of the inning after Knapp was able to get down to first on a leadoff single to get us going here in the bottom of the 7th. Pilots leading the Red Wings 5-2. It's been that score since the bottom of the 3rd. Livingston drills one to the first base, and it gets through. Holding at second is Knapp, as Alan Murphy makes the throw over to Warren. And there's 2 on with 1 gone now here in the bottom of the 7th, as Livingston moves the runner over to second into scoring position.
Now batting for the Wings from Du Bois, Pennsylvania, first baseman number 31, Nick Lebraska.
A dicey situation now brewing for the Pilots, as there's 2 men on with 1 gone in the bottom of the 7th. They have that 3-run cushion, but Jacob Polishak has come in to replace Reynold Loomis, and he has 2 men on now as Nick Lebraska comes back to the plate for the Red Wings. Lebraska will take time and gather his thoughts before heading back into the batter's box. Lebraska is ready to go, and so is Polishak. Polishak will deal one inside that misses, and it's ball 1. Nick Lebraska playing his college ball at Youngstown State. The big man standing at 6'5" is ready to take the 1-0. That's a strike in there from Polishak, and the count goes to 1-1. Polishak ready with the 1-1. Off speeder inside. Lebraska gets out of the way of that one, and it moves the count to 2-1 now. Runners on first and second for the Red Wings, as they're threatening here in the bottom of the 7th, as they're trying to put on the rally caps as they find themselves down by 3 runs. Here's the 2-1 to Lebraska. Lebraska will go around on that one. Polishak can't get it. Over to Graham. He makes the play to first, and there's 2 gone. So no harm done, as the ball escaped the outstretched glove of Polishak and came down to the second baseman, Justin Graham.
Now batting from Smyrna, Delaware, the left fielder, number 9, Jared Gillis.
But he was able to make the play to Grady Wright at first, and there's 2 retired now in the bottom of the 7th. The runners advance, so they're at second and third now. As it's the left fielder, Jared Gillis, who strides back in for the Geneva Red Wings now. Harding able to keep that one in front of him as Polishak threw it in the dirt. Liam Harding Kept a couple of those balls in front of him here tonight. Miller has done the same on the other side for the Red Wings. So it's a 1-0 count. That one to the dirt again, and as I say that, it escapes Harding, and a runner will come across home plate to score. And put the jinx on me on that one. As Knapp comes across home plate to score on the wild pitch from Polishak. And it's a 5-3 ball game now. Red Wings have been able to stick around in this one as this one's chopped up to Polishak, and that'll do it. One is stranded, but the Red Wings get one back. It's 5-3 as we head to the top of the 8th from here at McDonough Park on NewarkPilots.tv. Back at McDonough Park, getting late into this one as we're in the top of the 8th now. Newark Pilots are back up to bat, and they are up 5-3 in this one. It's the right-hander Brett Super who takes over on the mound for the Red Wings now. After Bobko was able to pitch 4 scoreless innings for Geneva. So a good outing for him after taking over for Gebbia. Hernandez takes a big cut and misses at that one, and so it's an 0-1 count now. To get it going here in the top half of the 8th, Super with that long, lengthy delivery. As you see, that arm comes all the way out, and Hernandez can't seem to get in front of it yet as he takes another cut and misses at that one, and so he's quickly behind 0-2. Three straight swings by Hernandez, and down he goes on strikes. So the leadoff man is retired as Brett Super gets him swinging at air.
Catcher number 28, Liam Harding.
Brett Super from Newport Beach, California. Plays his college ball at Pinoma-Pitzer College. Stands at 5'10", 170 on the mound, and he's ready to deliver to the catcher, Liam Harding. Harding has been able to advance on balls once. No hits for him tonight, though. Harding can't hold off on that one in the dirt, and the count will go to 1-1 now. Brett Super throwing some good stuff out there on the mound so far as he's got Liam Harding in a 1-2 count now. Harding chops one down to Nebraska at first. Super is over there to touch up on first base, and there's quickly 2 gone here in the top of the 8th.
Third baseman number 7, Andre Marchessault.
Andre Marchessault comes to plate for the Pilots once again. As the bottom half of this order really has not been able to help out the Pilots. As Harding and Marchessault have a pair of strikeouts already. And we saw Alexander Hernandez go down on strikes as well to begin this inning. Super will throw a ball down and away. So it's a 1-0 count to Andre Marchessault, the third baseman tonight for the Pilots. Big cut and a miss there from Marchessault as Brett Super gets him to go around, and the count will go to 1-1 now. Marchessault trying to reach for the first time today as he looks at a ball outside from Super. As the Red Wings have closed the gap in this one in the top of the eighth. It's 5-3. Pilots lead now. It's 3 unanswered runs from the Red Wings now as the Pilots were up 5-0 earlier on in this contest. Marchessault, he has a 3-1 count. Holds off, and he'll take his base as that one was high and outside from Super. And so it's a 2-out walk from Brett Super, and Andre Marchessault will take his base. Pilots go to the top of the order now. It's Justin Graham who strides back in. Graham has been able to score twice in this game for the Pilots. Graham pops that one out, but it'll escape out of play, and so it's strike one to him. Justin Graham, he's been solid down at second base tonight for Newark as he has made the plays when the ball has come his way tonight. Graham is in front of that one on the off speeder, and he's quickly in an 0-2 hole here as there's 2 gone with Marchessault on first in the top of the eighth. Pilots lead 5-3 from here at McDonough Park as the Pilots' bats have gone ice cold. Runner's going. It's flied out, and it's going to hit us right in the roof. There it is. So Graham fights that one off, and the count stays at 0-2 to him. As we look for a souvenir up here in the press box. Justin Graham is ready with another 0-2 from Brett Super. Graham, that one's coming right at us again. So Justin Graham fouls 2 back, and I think our camera is safe. As Graham stays alive once again. We'll see if he can put one in play this time. Runner's going. Down, and they got him! Great throw by Miller, and that's it for the top of the eighth. Pilots still lead 5-3. We come back to McDonough Park for the bottom of the eighth after this. Red Wings have been clawing their way back into this game as we head to the bottom of the 8th. It's now a 5-3 game as they got another run back in the bottom of the 7th to cut the Pilots' lead to 5-3. Evan Magadan, he singled his last time up as he was the leadoff man. Red Wings could not do anything after that as Loomis was still on the mound at that time. It's Jacob Polishak who was taken over for Loomis on the mound for the Pilots. As we head to the bottom of the 8th now, Magadan takes a crack at that one. Down the third baseline and foul. Evan Magadan, he would love to repeat his last leadoff effort and get a rally going here for Geneva. Polishak delivers one right to Warren over shortstop. He bobbles it over to right. Gets him. What a throw by Xavier Warren after bobbling the initial grounder for Magadan. And Grady Wright stretched it out over there at first. And the leadoff man is retired here to start the bottom of the 8th. It's Barr who's back at the plate for the Red Wings now. As Polishak throws one inside for ball 1. Barr will hold off on one up in the strike zone, and it's another ball from Polishak. Polishak only the second pitcher on the mound for the Pilots here in the bottom of the 8th as Reynold Loomis went 6 strong. As this one is flied out by Barr, but it's going to fall foul and out of reach of both Grady Wright and Liam Harding as they made their way over there to inspect the situation, but that one falls foul out of play, and so it's a 2-1 count now to Barr. And as I was saying, Loomis, he went 6 strong. He gave up 2 runs. Polishak has given up one of his own now. That was back in the last inning. That one is high and inside. And so Barr works it into a hitter's count now with 1 gone. Polishak throws one inside for ball 4, and Barr will jog it down to first. And there's 1 aboard now with 1 gone here in the bottom of the 8th as Polishak walks Barr.
Now batting from Lincoln University, Pennsylvania, the catcher number 18, Zach Miller.
It's the catcher, Zach Miller, who comes back to the plate for the Red Wings, and he had a great throw down to second to get the Red Wings out of the inning as Andre Marchessault tried to steal second. Miller cracks that one into the gap and left. Dawson Bailey's going to have to try and track it down. Bailey over to Warren. Warren, here comes the run. Warren, the throw, and it's not going to be in time. And it's a 1-run game. As it's 5-4. The RBI double from the catcher, Zach Miller. Tristan Riley comes in to pinch run now for Zach Miller as he gets the RBI double off of Polishak. And as I mentioned earlier in this inning, the Red Wings have just crawled back into this game. They've
Now batting the right fielder from Western New York,
Newark just gotten runs back 1 by 1. And it's 4 unanswered now from Geneva, and it's a 5-4 ball game. Polishak throws one low and away, and he'll get a visit from Liam Harding. So Polishak gives up his second earned run since coming in for Loomis. And the Pilots' lead has been trimmed all the way down to 1 now. It's the right fielder Smith back at the plate for the Red Wings. Riley is over at second, pinch running for Zach Miller as Smith takes a strike. Polishak takes a peek over at Riley. Iinski will call time, and we'll reset things here. 1-1 count to Smith. Polishak, an off speeder, misses up high, and the count goes to 2-1 now. Red Wings got a pair in the bottom of the third, and then one back in the seventh, and another one here in the eighth as they have drawn this game out, and it's 5-4 now. Polishak paints the corner on the outside, and the count goes to 2-2 to him now. Smith will try to stay alive at the plate now. Polishak takes a peek over at Riley, and he's ready to deliver. Smith, did he check his swing? He did not. And so there's 2 gone here now in the bottom of the eighth as Iinski said that Smith went around on that one. And so Brian Knapp comes back to the plate as they go to the top of the order. Riley is still on second, and there's 2 gone here in the bottom of the eighth. Polishak trying to limit the damage as he's given up 1 here in the inning. Off speeder from Polishak falls in, and it's strike 1 to Knapp. Zach Miller, the catcher, with an RBI double earlier in the inning that brought in another run for the Red Wings. It's Riley pinch running for him over at second now. As Riley hasn't made it apparent that he wants to get over to third yet. We'll see if he makes the attempt. Polishak has been keeping an eye on him as Knapp has a 1-1 count. A ball low. And Knapp has a 2-1 count now. Knapp batting from the left side of the plate. We're number 14 for the Red Wings this year. He's been good in that leadoff spot tonight as he's gotten on base a couple of times. He looks at one inside and he gets himself a hitter's count at 3-1 now. Two gone here in the bottom of the eighth. Polishak ready with the 3-1. That one drilled down right. Grady Wright makes the play over to first. He'll call off Polishak and touch first. So Geneva strands one, but they get another one back as it's 5-4 now. The Pilots lead. We head to the top of the ninth from McDonough Park after this. Last inning from here at McDonough Park. Pilots lead 5-4, and it's Justin Graham at the plate as the Pilots go to the top of the order to start off the top of the ninth here. Brett Super continues to pitch on the mound for the Red Wings as Blaine McCray takes over the catching duties for the Red Wings. Blaine McCray from Burleson, Texas, plays his college ball at McMurray University. Graham got in front of that one and fouled it off, and so it's a 1-1 count now. Graham looks at one outside, and the count goes to 2-1 now. Graham drills one down to Nebraska, and he can't handle it. Graham will have himself a leadoff single as Nebraska will be charged with an error. Is an odd approach to that play as he kind of didn't really have his body in front of it, just had the glove there, and an odd hop allowed it to squeak past his glove, and it got into the outfield, and Justin Graham has himself on base to start the top of the ninth. Pilots would love a couple insurance runs. Warren will show bunt, but this one's fouled off. And so it's strike one. We'll see if Xavier Warren tries to throw down another bunt, as he still has another strike to give. With none gone here in the top of the ninth. Warren, he's going to show bunt again. This one's topped up in the air, and it can't be caught. What looked like a for sure out could not be handled by Blaine McCray, and it falls foul. And so Xavier Warren in an 0-2 count now, and not your best two pieces of bunting. As the infielders will back up now, as Warren will come out of the bunt, and Brett Super is ready to deliver the 0-2 to him. Graham looked like he wanted to go, but he holds up. A pitch outside from Super falls for ball one, and so the count goes to 1-2. Graham is over at first. There's none gone. Super, that one low. Warren holds off, and the count goes to 2-2 to him now. So Super Ready to go with the 2-2 to Warren. Graham's going. Warren swings and misses the throw down, and Graham, is he in there? Yes, he is. It looked like his body might have slipped off the bag, but he gets a hand back in time, and Graham has his third stolen base of the game. Nothing you love more than a leadoff man that can get himself on and do whatever he has to do to get in scoring position. He's done that once again here tonight. And it's Alan Murphy who comes to the plate now for the Pilots. As there's one gone in the top of the ninth after Warren goes down on strikes. As he swung and missed for strike 3. We saw Zach Miller pick off Andre Marchessault in the last inning, but Justin Graham is able to get here safe. Murphy swings and misses at that one for strike 1. Count moves to 1-1 on him as he tries to advance Graham over there from second. They'll go over to second. Did they get him? No, they didn't. That one was very close. Super took a peek over there, and Graham didn't realize that the shortstop Magadan was retreating to second. And Graham realized it just in the nick of time and got himself back over. Super will deliver. That one's outside to Murphy, and the count goes to 2-1 on him now. Super ready to go. Murphy down the first baseline, but it's going to fall foul. And Graham will jog it back to second, and the count goes to 2-2 on Alan Murphy now. Pilots holding on to a one-run lead here, 5-4 in the top of the ninth. Murphy chops one to the second baseman. It's Hall. Hall makes the play over, and Murphy is out. Trying to beat the run. He couldn't, though. He advances Graham over to third, however. And there's 2 gone here in the top of the ninth now, and the first base coach thought he was safe. But Connor McKenzie appeared to think differently, and so there's 2 gone. Graham is over on third. It's the cleanup hitter, Grady Wright. Would love to bring home Graham and give an insurance run to the Pilots before we head to the bottom of the ninth. An off-speeder by Super will fall in there for strike 1. Pilots 0-1 on the year after a defeat at the hands of the Diamond Dogs in a 9-7 loss. Looking for their first win of the year. Grady Wright is quickly behind in an 0-2 hole to Brett Super. As Brett Super is ready with the 0-2. Swing and a miss from Grady Wright. Go get yourself another taco. We head to the bottom of the ninth. The Pilots strand 1, and they have a 5-4 lead to try and protect. When we come back to McDonough Park after this. We head to the bottom of the ninth here at McDonough Park. Pilots hanging on to a 1-run lead. It's a 5-4 ball game as Brandon Odenhall takes over on the mound for the Pilots. The right-hander from Fenton, Missouri, plays his college baseball at Maryville. Stands at 6'4", 210 on the mound. He'll try to close it out here, as the Pilots once had a 5-0 lead in this one. They've seen it shrink down to a 1-run lead. As the Red Wings have fought their way back into this one. It's the 2-3-4 hitters for the Red Wings due up, as Jesse Hall will get us going here in the bottom of the ninth.
Tallahassee, Florida, your second baseman, number 7, Jesse Hall.
And Jesse Hall will try to get the rally started here for the Red Wings, as the DH Langston Livingston is due up next, and he has himself 3 hits on the night, so he has been a threat at the plate, and he will be up next after Jesse Hall. Liam Harding having a chat with Brandon Odenhall as he will try to close things out here in the bottom of the ninth. Odenhall wearing number 14 for the Pilots. He'll go into the windup, and here we go with the bottom of the ninth. That one misses outside, and Jesse Hall has himself a 1-0 count. Here is he leads us off. The bullpen giving Jesse Hall plenty of noise. He looks at strike one, and the count goes to 1-1. Odenhall into the windup. That one hits Jesse Hall. And the leadoff man is aboard. From my vantage point, it looked like it bounced into the dirt, but I think it caught him in the leg or foot region. But regardless, it brings Langston Livingston to the plate, and as I mentioned, he has been strong in this one tonight. As Jesse Hall is over at first. And the pressure is on Brandon Odenhall now to deliver. That one is low and inside, and it's ball 1. We'll see how aggressive Jesse Hall over there first. Probably not too aggressive at all. There's none gone. He walked off the inning. Odenhall will deliver a big by Livingston. He's missing that one. And the count goes to 1-1. Livingston. He serves as a winning run at the plate. The tying run is at first. That one is high inside, and it's ball 2 to Livingston. Livingston from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, hits on that left side of the plate, wearing number 26 this year for the Red Wings. Seems to be someone you want to have at the plate right now. That one thrown down to first. Did they get him? No, that one was close as Jesse Hall got caught peeking off the bag. Heads-up play by Liam Harding to whip it down to first, but Grady Wright could not apply the tag in time. It was ball 3 inside to Livingston, and so he has a 3-1 count. As there's still none gone here in the bottom of the ninth. Pilots holding on to a 5-4 lead. The pitch from Odenhall. It's low, and it's in the dirt, and he walks another one. Hall takes a peek after rounding second. And there's 2 men on, none gone here to start the bottom of the ninth as Brandon Odenhall has worked himself into a heap of trouble. And in this situation, it really comes down to getting the first one. And Odenhall, that is it for him. Matt Colbert. He'll turn to Alec Teska, I believe that is. Alec Teska will come on the mound now, and Teska, he struggled in the Pilots opener. So an interesting call here from Matt Colbert as he goes to Alec Teska, the right-hander from Cato, New York. Comes on the mound for the Pilots as there's men on first and second. There's none gone here in the bottom of the ninth. The Pilots lead 5-4, but for how long? As it's the first baseman, Nick Lebraska, and the winning run is on first base now. It's been an interesting game here as the Pilots jumped out to a 4-run lead at the top of the first. Geneva has fought back ever since, and we have a 5-4 game now. And Alec Teska, I don't think there would be anything more he would love to do than close this game out after the outing he had. He gave up 6 runs. If you were watching with us in the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs game, a game in which the Pilots lost 9-7, it included a 6-run top of the fifth when Teska was on the mound. Pilots fought back in that one, made it 7-6 before going on to lose. But it's Alec Teska's ball game to win or lose now, as the bullpen is empty.
From Du Bois, Pennsylvania, the first baseman, number 31, Nick Lebraska.
And it's the first baseman, Nick Lebraska, who strides in. Red Wings dugout loves it. As Alec Teska from St. John Fisher College is on the mound now for the Pilots. The right-hander wearing number 25 for the Pilots is ready to go. It's a bunt by Lebraska. Marchessault will handle it. Over to Graham at first as Wright was covering. I thought that didn't look like Grady Wright, but the runners move over, and Nick Lebraska does his job as there's one gone. Tying run is at third. Hillis comes to the plate now. The winning run, is over on second. Here in the bottom of the ninth, Pilots up 5-4. They're going to intentionally walk Hillis here in hopes of turning a double play and ending this game. Now, unlike the MLB, they do not do the one-pitch intentional walk rule, so Teska will have to pitch it out here. And it's going to bring the shortstop Magadan back to the plate as the bases are now loaded as Hillis is aboard after the intentional walk.
Now batting for the Wings from Point Pleasant, New Jersey, the shortstop, number 24, Evan Magadan.
Evan Magadan at the plate for the Red Wings. Alec Teska trying to get out of the jam in the bottom of the ninth. He holds a 1-run lead as there's one gone and the bases are loaded. Magadan takes a crack at that one, and it's fouled back for strike one. Plenty of talk between the infielders here as Harding back behind home plate, and we're ready to go. It's an 0-1 count to Evan Magadan, the shortstop today for the Red Wings. That's an off-speeder. Harding keeps it in front of him. What a play by Liam Harding. As the tying run, Jesse Hall, he's already stolen home once earlier in this game, and what was an aggressive steal from him, and I wouldn't assume any different if that ball escapes just a little bit further from Harding there. Big cut by Magadan. Goes around on that one, and the count goes to 1-2. So there's still one out, and the bases are loaded. Alec Teska trying to get the second out as Evan Magadan is at the plate. Teska ready to go. That one is high. Magadan holds off, moves the count to 2-2 now. Teska ready to deliver the 2-2. Off speeder, Magadan holds off, and it's outside the strike zone, and the count runs full. Heck of a moment here at McDonough Park as it's a full count. There's one gone, the bases are loaded, and the Pilots lead by 1. Teska cannot afford a ball here. And he walks him. Jesse Hall comes across home plate to score. The bases are still loaded, and the game is tied at 5 now. Alec Teska looking for the call, strike 3. That's a tough one. But Evan Magadan looks at ball 4 in the outside corner. Bases are still loaded, and the go-ahead run is on third. Still one out, as it's Justin Barr at the plate. As pretty much anything into the outfield would win this game now for the Red Wings. Big cut from Barr as he goes around on that one, and he's quickly in an 0-2 hole. We're all tied at 5 now after Teska walks in a run. We're in the bottom of the 9th. Geneva has gotten 1 run in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings now. That one misses away, and the count goes to 1-2. Big cut from Bard. He goes down on strikes. So Teska gets a big out. And the bases are still loaded. There's 2 gone here in the bottom of the 9th now. And we'll see who the Red Wings bring up the bat here. It's going to be Lane Powell from Alabama. Plays his college ball at Alabama Southern, and he comes into the game now with 2 outs. Powell looks at an off speeder in the strike zone, and the count is 0-1 now. It's a tie game with the bases loaded. Teska throws one upstairs for ball 1, and the count goes to 1-1. Teska ready to go. Big cut from Powell as he gets air on that one, and the count is 1-2 to him now. Teska trying to get out of the jam here and send us to extra innings. Powell swing and a miss. And that'll do it. Alec Teska keeps us tied at 5, and we're going to extra innings from McDonough Park. So we play some extra innings baseball here from McDonough Park as we are all knotted up at 5. Bailey will get things going for the Pilots here in the top of the 10th. It's Joey Haas from Camden, Delaware, the right-hander who takes over on the mound for the Red Wings now. Strike 1 is in there to Bailey, and so the count is 0-1. That one misses outside, and the count goes to 1-1 on Dawson Bailey now. 5 unanswered runs by the Red Wings that get us to where we are now. Joey Haas with that sort of a sidearm action on that. And he throws that one in for a strike, and the count goes to 1-2. Joey Haas plays his college ball at University of Delaware as he tries to retire the leadoff man. That one's high, and Bailey holds off, and the count goes to 2-2. Haas throws another one inside, and that one will run the count full on Bailey. Here to lead off the top of the 10th as we are all tied up at 5. And Bailey looks at a strike 3 as Joey Haas retires the leadoff man, and there's one gone in the top of the 10th now.
Now batting, left fielder number 2, Parker Tadlock.
So Parker Tadlock comes to the plate now for the Pilots. Lane Powell taking over the catching duties after pinch hitting in that last inning. Parker Tadlock has himself an 0-1 count. Haas will fire one just outside, and so the count goes to 1-1. Pilots thought they had their first win of the year, but the Red Wings battled back in this one. Tadlock takes one on the inside corner, and he's behind in the count 1-2. Red Wings will be home here at McDonough Park again tomorrow when they face the Elmira Pioneers. And the Pilots go back to Newark to take on the Jamestown Jammers for their first meeting of the year. The first pitch will be thrown out at 7:05 at Coburn Park. Haas, that went down and away, and the count goes to 2-2 on Parker Tadlock. Here in the top of the 10th, we're all tied at 5 as the Red Wings got 5 unanswered. As Teska walked in the tying run in the bottom of the 9th. And Tadlock will look at strike 3 as well, and so Joey Haas gets back-to-back men to look. And there's 2 gone here in the top of the 10th now. The DH, Alexander Hernandez, comes back to the plate now, and the Pilots are heading to the bottom of the order now. Haas bowled one high as Powell couldn't keep a glove on that one, and it found its way to the backstop. It's a 1-0 count to Hernandez. Hernandez pops that one high up in the air. I've lost sight of it, but it's coming down. Oh, what a diving play, and Barr is able to catch that one, and they go down 1-2-3 in the top of the 10th. we head to the bottom of the 10th here at extra innings, still tied at 5 from McDonough Park.
5-5 with the Red Wings. Fuller.
Extra innings continue here from McDonough Park as we are all knotted up at 5. A new hitter is in the box for the Red Wings, and it's Sam Fuller from Mentor, Ohio. Plays his college ball at Bonaventure. He shows bunt but lays off. As Alec Teska is back on the mound for the Pilots, as he was able to save the game for Newark after he walked in a run. A pair of strikeouts for him. And Sam Fuller takes a cut and misses at that one, and the count goes to 1-1. Teska pretty animated after getting himself out of that jam last inning. And he'll do it all again. An off-speeder is down in the dirt, and so Fuller takes ball 2. Sam Fuller, he was 0 for 2 in the Red Wings' loss on Sunday. Fuller takes another ball, and the count goes to 3-1 now. Sam Fuller with a hitting count now against Teska. Ball 4 is upstairs, and Fuller gets his base, and Teska walks the leadoff guy here to start the bottom of the 10th.
Redwood City, California. Center fielder number
Red Wings go to the top of the order now. It's Knapp, who has had a strong night at the plate for the Red Wings, comes on. Teska takes a peek over at first there. As here's the bunt. It's laid down. Teska makes a play. Oh, it's over second, and he misses the throw. Coming to third. Here's the throw. He misses, and the men are at the corners now. And that was an aggressive play by Teska to try and get the man out at second. And it doesn't work out as it's over the head of Warren. Dawson Bailey makes the throw over to Marcia Show at third. But Sam Fuller is in there safe. And now there's men at the corners with none gone here in the bottom of the 10th. As the game is tied at 5. Matt Colbert will make a visit out to the mound to talk to Alec Teska. As that bunt that was laid down by Knapp found itself right to Teska, and Teska, thinking on his head, tried to go to second with that one, but overshot the throw. And the runners are both safe, and Fuller advances to third on what will be charged as an error to Alec Teska. And so it's the second baseman, Jesse Hall, who comes back to the plate. with a chance to win this game for the Red Wings, as it's all tied at 5 and there's no men on and they have runners at the corners. Jesse Hall trying to put the bunt down, but it's going to be counted as a strike as he fouled it off. Jesse Hall trying to bunt in Sam Fuller and end this game. See if Hall shows it again. He will not. Harding, pitch of the dirt, keeps it in front of him for ball 1. Men at the corners for the Red Wings here in the bottom of the 10th. 5-5 game. Hall fouls one off down the first baseline and out of play. And the count will go to 1-2. There's no outs here, so Alec Teska has his work cut out for him. He wants to try and get out of this inning unscathed. Jesse Hall at the plate for the Red Wings. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss from Hall, and there's one gone now. So Jesse Hall strikes out. And it's Nick Carnival who will come in to hit now, as we haven't seen him at the plate yet. From Lyndhurst, New Jersey, plays his college ball at Brookdale. Stands on the right side of the batter's box at 5'10", 171, and he'll take his crack at the bat at trying to end this game. Carnival. Does he hold off on that one? Yes, he does. And it'll be ball 1 as it was upstairs. And it was close to being a strike from Carnival, but he's able to hold off, and the count goes to 1-0. He'll take ball 2 in the dirt, and the count goes to 2-0 now. Sam Fuller looming over there at third as Alec Teska has got his eye, as he is the winning run. Teska ready with the 2-0 delivery. Trying to bunt that one is Carnival. But it doesn't work out, and a false foul for strike 1. We'll see what Carnival tries to do with the plate after trying to bunt that one. He bunted it foul. We'll see if he does it again. It looks like he's gonna. He won't, and he'll swing and miss at that one. And it's strike 2, and the count is 2-2 to Nick Carnival now. Carnival, his first plate appearance of the night. Trying to end it for the Red Wings. Carnival fouls one off and stays alive. Bottom of the 10th, all tied up at 5. Red Wings have men at the corners as Nick Carnival tries to put this game on ice. Alec Teska ready with another 2-2 delivery. Carnival fouls that one off again. Lengthy game here at McDonough Park as we go around 3 hours and 40 minutes into this one. Carnival chops one down to Graham, over to second, over to first. They don't get him, and that'll do it. Nick Carnival brings home Sam Fuller, and the Geneva Red Wings walk that off and win this one 6-5. 6 unanswered runs by the Red Wings, and they come back to win this one on their home field at McDonough Park. And the Pilots remain winless on the year.
The winning pitcher is Joey Haas, goes to 1-0. The losing pitcher is Alec Teska.
Pilots will be home again tomorrow, Wednesday at 7:05 against the Jamestown Jammers. We hope to see you there. If you can't make it, join us here on Newark Pilots TV. I'm Dan Cooter saying so long from McDonough Park. It's a 6-5 final in extra innings. The Geneva Red Wings prevail over the Newark Pilots. We'll see you next time.